We are going to be taking a look at Revolution Slider down here. Now, for most of the websites that we build for our clients, we use a slider called Soliloquy, and it's much simpler, but it's also much more limited in what it can do. And Revolution Slider is amazing. It can do things that are far cooler than what we have even done on your website. But because of that coolness, there is an extra complication factor as well, and it is a trade-off. It makes it more difficult to use, but the end product is so much better, and it leads to the current look and feel that we have, especially what was there prior to adding a couple of other slides to it, where we have it set up initially where we have the Ken Burns effect going on. That means when it zooms in like this, the background zooms in, we have the pieces fly into place there. Those things can't happen on most sliders, and it can happen on this slider here, and it brings a lot of attention to these things that are so very important to your organization. And right now we actually inadvertently changed the settings to make this last a little bit longer than what it should. But we have these slides here that talk about the mission that you all have, what you believe, how it is that you all are approaching this cause that you have, and it is very effective. I think it does draw people in. It makes you want to read. And so it's a very good end result. It's worth it for the extra complication. And so I'm going to walk you through the basics of how to use this. It will take a little practice to get to where it works just as you want to. But you want to remember that the slideshow while it can be used for current events, while it can be used for promotions that you have going on here and now, then much of the time people are going to be driven to your website not by randomly coming to the home page and then seeing what is there for these events. Rather, they will be coming there via social media, because you put up posts on Facebook, via print advertisements where you have given them a specific address to go to. And so if you are promoting a charity event, then you can have a page with a specific address of ranchlife.org/charity event, whatever the name is for it. And then you can drive people directly to that place on your web page, on your website, and that will probably be more beneficial for the most part. When people do come to the home page of a website, they will consume some of the information there as it comes through on a slideshow. But when we place a temporary event, as we have on here right now, while that can be good to promote that, and it's not a bad thing, that's your choice, you place on there what you want, but when we place that there, then people that are new to Good Samaritan, that don't know what this is all about, don't get that image from looking at these advertisements right here. And when we come over to these ones here that speak about the core values of Good Samaritan Ranch, then it is a better place to draw people in, to make them consume the website that we have here, to consume this information that is below. And that's really what we're wanting. We're wanting people to value this content. We're wanting people to receive this in a way that leads toward action, leads toward a greater understanding of Good Samaritan Ranch. So for the most part, it would be good to have promotional activity happen through the blog, happen through pages that are created specially for the events that we have going on, and then driving them there through other means besides this slideshow. But I want to show you how to use it so that at times when you are going to use it here, then you are prepared for that. And so for the home page right now, we have a couple of extras because there was a big update to Slider Revolution right when we launched, and so I had to rebuild a couple of times to figure out how to make it work with the new version of it. And typically that won't happen. This was a once in a blue moon sort of update that they had. Typically the updates will be minor and won't be anything of this sort. But if we want to make changes to this slideshow, then we can go over here and click on the little edit button on this little pencil looking thing, and we see here that we have our slides that are currently up there on the slideshow. Now let's go look at one that's already created first, so we can understand the basic concept of what's going on here. Come down here and we have our background image. The background image we have in this case is of this pot that says Perseverance and Forgiven. This was a project that was made by one of the kids at the ranch, and then we obscured certain more personal pieces of information from it so that we could still enjoy what has been done here without giving up anything in the way of confidentiality. And then within this we have the image, and we've set that, and we have these options for what happens with that background. That's the address that came with that source over there. You can make some changes here to how it fits within the page. You can experiment with these for the most part. We won't go through every detail. Don't worry about the parallax. Over here on Ken Burns, what we're doing is we're changing it so that it moves while it is going through the slideshow process. And so it starts off at 0, and it goes to 26 out of 100. And then on the vertical also, it goes from 0 to 50. And we have a duration here for how long that animation lasts. And that's in milliseconds. Come down here, you see we have our different parts right here. And within these, we can make changes. We can come in here and change the wording from in here. We can say, I think, it is, whatever we want. Just come in here, and then you make the change. Now I'm not going to save any of these right now. I'm just taking a look at them, and you can see them, and if you click save up here at any time, then it will become live on the website right then and there. You can change any of these things as you want to. When you come in and change these things, then sometimes other adjustments need to be made. The way that they come in is up here through animation. Then we can take a look very easily at what is happening there. Along from the left, and then we have all other things along from the top, fade in. Any of these things can be chosen. And then we have it down here. Same thing on this one, different set of animations. We have our fade out, we have our options here for leaving too, so that's a fade out type thing. You can also come down here and see a timeline of when these come on here, and so you can easily adjust when they come in, and we can make it so that one of them doesn't come in until later. At any point along the way, then you can click play and see what they do. And we don't necessarily want it this way where it's so delayed like that. You can also click preview here at any time, and then we will get to see the way that it appears. And it's a little messed up right now because there's some other changes. But the preview sometimes works, and sometimes it's not quite right there. So sometimes you're going to have to click save and see what it looks like actually on the home page. Because of some different CSS styling things, then it won't show up identically there as what it does on the page. But it can give you a basic idea anyway of how it's going to appear. Along the way, we have these different sizes of screens that will do different things. And so then this is our desktop monitor. Then we have a laptop size right here, and we can move these around. And if I move this to a completely different place right here, then it doesn't change it on the other ones. It only changes it on that one. And see, this one's still in the exact same spot. And we come over here, and then that's in a different spot yet. It's been moved. And this one here. And you have to adjust these things, each one of them, to match what it's going to look like on these different devices. If you do not adjust them, then there's a good chance that your content will be obscured, that it will not be seen as you want it to be seen. Within all of these different things, we have a lot of different varieties of style options. We have some preset options over here, and you can just use what's already created and use the these two options here, the HP header and the home page, and then when you use those two together, then you can create the look that we've already used. One of the best things that you can do if you're wanting to add more slides is to take what we have already done here and duplicate it. That's going to be the easiest way by far. Now we don't want to save any of these changes that we've made. I'm going to refresh because I don't want to inadvertently save any of those things. And so if we come down here, we can hover over this and we can click duplicate. And now we have two of these slides right here. And when we go in here, and we click on it, and then we can change our main background image to whatever we want. And so now we've decided that we want it to be of this Good Samaritan Bolivar Herald Press image that we don't actually necessarily have rights to. And then we come down in here, and you can change this to say whatever you want. Wooden things, and then down here, wooden things make us look rustic. And then we click OK. And we got it. And we're good. And automatically we'll go to the right size there. And we're going to take a little look at the preview of this here, see what it looks like. And again, like I said, those are going to overlap in a way that's not entirely reflective of how they would look on the actual website. So you're not going to get a perfect image, but you know that they aligned correctly on the other side, and so you know it's probably going to work okay there. We go through each one of these here, and we can see what they're going to look like and make sure they still fit in there in a way that's reasonable. Now, you've gotten a brand new slide, and then you say, oh, you know, those don't really quite match up. You might need to change those a little bit. You come down here. Now see, I don't want to get it off center, right? And I do want it to align. This thing here where you snap to the layers, and so then now it's right on the edge there. But then we also want it to be where it's in the center, so you can click center. And now it's in the center from side to side. And now they line up perfectly. And they will work in each one of these contexts, on the desktop, on the laptop, tablet, and on a phone. And it works on all of those just fine now. When we want to make this live, we click Save, but we don't want to make it live. We want to get rid of that, and so we're going to click Delete. And now we're back to the way we were before. Everything is as it was in the beginning. Within these, you can also easily place videos from YouTube, from Vimeo, or you could upload your own, but for the most part you want to be doing it through YouTube or Vimeo. If you want to do a video, it's amazingly simple, and it's a great option for you. A good way to add new content to the homepage without having to deal with any of these complications that we're talking about. So we're going to add a blank slide here, and from this blank slide, then we're going to choose YouTube video. And what we need to do is we need to get the ID of a YouTube video. And we're going to go to YouTube and just grab a random video. I would say the first one that pops up, but then who knows what's going to pop up. These are generated randomly. So we'll take this video of a plane landing. And then you see up here, from within your video, then you have this ending. It always ends in equals, and then there's a little section there. You take that, you come back over here, and then you can type that in, and then it is set as your background. Let's see if this works. You might have to click Save before it will actually load that. No, it loads it right now. You see how that loads just so perfectly? And right now it's set to play automatically, and you can adjust those settings on whether it does or does not do that. Now obviously you don't want this on your home page. This is not the video you want, but it's so simple to do. You can add it in there easily, particularly your own videos, of course, but even a video from something else might be useful at some time. It's very easy to do. Same concept with Vimeo, where you just grab the little ID part of it, and then you can do that there as well. I'm going to delete this. I don't want to inadvertently have an airplane on the home page of Good Samaritan Boys Ranch website. We have other changes we can make over here with our slider settings overall. We could change some of these things. And for the most part, you don't want to mess with these too much with the home page, but if you're creating a new one, mess around all you want. There are a lot of other places on the website that you could use a slideshow that could be useful. You can have it be that these are drawing from Twitter, Facebook, Flickr, from your WordPress website that you have here, so from the blog post you're creating here. You can make all these changes, and the changes that you can make are really just endless. There's nothing that is going to inhibit you at all, except for time and skills and knowledge, and you can grow in all those things, except for maybe time. It's difficult to come by. And so you can come in here, mess around all you want. It's best to leave the homepage slider not exactly as it is. You can still use it, but you want to treat it with a little more care than maybe what you do some other ones that you're going to be putting within specific pages. Maybe the place to experiment would be with individual pages rather than for the home page. Come back up here, we can see all the sliders again, and right now we just have these ones. We don't have much, but we have a few other options here. Not anything you really need to worry about too much. This slider does belong to you, and you can use this as long as you want, and you will continue to have updates made to it along the way because you have a license for it. And so there will be some changes here and there that will happen. Most of the time they will not be significant changes. If there are, we'll help walk you through that process if there's anything that changes in a more significant way. I realize that with this one, unlike most of these other videos, you're going to be left not understanding 100% how to use this. And for the most part, on this one, you are going to need to get in and experiment a little bit yourself. And we're happy to help you out when you have questions. Calling me, Kenny, would probably be the best thing to do. David's not terribly familiar with this slider, and so if you can call, text, or email me, then I will help you out in whatever way I need to. I'll be happy to walk you through the process. And if you struggle a great deal and you just need some help actually getting it directly done, I'll help you out at times with that as well. And so just give us a text, email, call if you have trouble, and we'll help you out in that process.